And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, the November the 12th, right? Did I get that right this time? All right, Bullocks a Gambler. Yeah, Saturday, November the 12th, 2022. It is Season 16, Episode number 39. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
All right. I had to do that. Just so you know, and you probably can tell, I opened up the wrong document on the page here, and so I was just going off of memory, and our trusty little clapboard here that had all that information written out for me, thank God. Otherwise, I'd have been like, I can't remember what the show number is and all this other stuff. So here. Anyway. Welcome into the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Check out In-Game Chat for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at In-Game Chat. You can find us on Facebook at In-Game Chat. Email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're staying on Twitter for now. For as long as, there's going to be a Twitter around to stay on, I guess. We are streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv and you can find us there, or you can also join us on our Discord, which we've got somebody already hanging out in the Discord, and we will get to we got two people hanging out in the Discord. This is great. Just a whole little group of folks just hanging out, wanting to chat with us. So we will get to them here very, very shortly as we say hello to RJ. RJ, what have you been playing lately?
For the most part, I've been playing R-Type Final 2. I'm trying to accomplish in that what I've failed to do in R-Type Final, which is basically unlock every ship in the game. But something I didn't realize about getting the resources needed to unlock the said ships.
Yeah.
Apparently, your attire, your pilot suit, determines how much resources you get at the end of every stage.
Interesting.
And I didn't know that. It was just some blind... dumb luck, basically, discovering that.
That's happened to me a time or two.
Yeah. So I was trying to find the right... So I got to do some research later on and find out what outfit I need to wear to get the most difficult elements to get, which is basically Bitogen, which comes in really light.
What are you playing this on? PS4?
PS4.
Okay.
Playing on PS4. So what I've been doing lately in that game, trying to unlock ships, is basically play all the stages that I've got through the DLC, which is about 9 at this point. So it's a lot of homages to older games in the R-Type series. Most recent, the last one I did was the I think stage 2 or 3 boss in R-Type. It was basically you flying in a Bito body cavity, and you're taking out parasites and defense mechanisms of this organism to get to the heart of this thing, and you got to take that thing out. It's got its defenses too, so you got to deal with that. And I was having nostalgia moments because I'm like, oh, I remember this part, and I remember this part. And then the boss had a second phase, like something out of Dark Souls. And I'm like, no, I don't remember this part. This is something brand new to me. Wait a minute. So yeah, so it's nice. So it's nice going through these extra stages and homage stages, and seeing the changes that they made there, and the touch of familiarity as well. So. Outside of that, a little bit more with PGA 2K3.
Yeah.
Still planning to play through my career mode, beating the rivals in there to unlock more clothing, more gear, things of that nature, and fittings for my fittings for my golfer. Better equipment, better performing equipment, basically more power. It's one of those things where you can add something to your equipment where it might add one thing but take away something else.
Yeah.
So it's like the head, the shaft, and the grip of each club or the entire set, but it costs money to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So for a driver, it's just that one club. You ain't got to worry that much. It's not going to cost that much. But for your set of irons, if you want to put that one fitting on all of your irons, it's going to be, 8 times the cost. So if it's like $75 in there, 75 times 8. So I got to play a lot of tournaments to get everything applied to every iron in my bag to do so. So it's going to be a lot of grinding.
I was about to say, there's the gameplay loop right there.
Yeah. You got to keep going if you want to get that money and get there. Yeah. So I'm finding little fittings here and there. I think the best one I've got was for the driver, something that gives a lot of power in there, but it takes away spin on the ball. Well, driver's not known for spin. It's just for distance, really.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about spin at all. Just hit it as far as I can and let the bounce take care of the carry afterwards. Outside of that, outside of the fitting of my clubs and everything, it's just dealing with wind, especially wind lately. I was playing on a course that was very windy in the double digits, 10 to 11 miles an hour. Right? So sometimes it would help. Like the ball's going with the wind, and then there's times when it goes against the wind, or the hard left and hard right. So I'm trying to hit straight at the flag.
Yeah.
On the short game, and that thing is aimed perfectly. I think I've adjusted for it, but no, not really. Now I'm about 20 to 25 feet from the cup where I want to be, so I'm now got to make this long undulating putt, and it makes it a little more difficult than normal. But it's still fun all the same. So,
all right.
So I'm pretty much working through those two right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm wrapped up for Destiny. As far now, if they throw in some late seasonal stuff like community, I don't want to say community events, but something where the community contributes to an overall goal type of thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I may run a couple of things to do that. If that's even offered, I have no idea. If it's not, I am finished until the next season, with the exception of just kind of banking bounties, like I said I would do.
Yeah,
which I've been doing here and there to get things ready, getting it done a little bit earlier than that. But it affords me now more time to play other things, which I say that as though I am forced to somehow play Destiny and not other things. Like a job requirement, and I got done early so I can play other stuff. Is not really the case, but I mean, for me, for my FOMO, for my grind and everything else, I did the last two Grandmaster Nightfalls there, which got my Conqueror title. Did one last, I think it was Monday. I did one, and then I did another one last night. Mm-hmm. And so I got those done, and that's it. Now I'm just going through all three different characters and putting bounties, you know, just casually doing that. Like today I ran the blind well on my hunter for the bounty that involved that, and there were 2 weapon bounties to do, and so I got those. Headshot bounty, which I got that done while I was doing it. So anything where I can do one thing but accomplish many others while I'm doing it. Yeah. Just making it more efficient, and I'll do that on my other 2 characters as well. And I've been going through God of War, I want to say the first one, obviously, but the God of War 2018, I believe is when it was. Mm-hmm. You know, the reboot, I suppose. Yeah. Whatever you want to call that. I've been going back through that on somewhat of a speed run. I'm not really going out of my way to do the collectibles like I was. I'm not really doing the exploring like I did the first time around.
Yeah, you've done that already. So
I know. I put in the hours there. I'm playing the New Game Plus mode of it. And I'm just kind of speed running through it. New Game Plus mode, but with a difficulty slider on it. You can play New Game Plus, but you can also say, I don't want it to be that difficult. Let's knock it down a little bit. Which is exactly what I'm doing. I'm pushing it down a little bit just so that I can kind of speed run. It's for me, it's playing a New Game Plus, which I don't think I've really ever done before all the way through. I have started them a few times, but never really got back through the game. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be the first one where I go back through and do the whole thing over again on New Game Plus. But for me, it's just a catch up on the story, but also just some quick gameplay stuff, that sort of thing.
Just a little refresher.
Yeah, and I will, given, you know, like I said, now that I have the time, I'll be picking up Ragnarok here soon, and and we'll be going through that as well since I've got the time to do that now.
Expecting a Black Friday thing on that one?
Nope, not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Right now, it's just no point in buying it because I am not done playing the first one. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's just, hey, if there is some sort of deal that pops up where buy this, get this half off, or buy this and you'll get some, like if they don't go on sale at Best Buy, but you get some kind of credit back. Mm-hmm. You buy this and we'll give you a $10 rewards card for Best Buy or something like that. Any little thing, why not wait? Mm-hmm. Since I got that kind of time right now, I can hold off on it.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before that a lot of games nowadays, especially in my case, you don't necessarily have to get it day one.
Right.
You can wait a little while. It's not like it's going to be unavailable anytime soon. So yeah.
I'm holding off on that, and right now I was playing it last night, and I was looking forward to this part. There's this point where you're trying to get a piece of something out of the head of a giant, like an actual giant.
Yeah.
And so you come upon them and the first time, I remember the first time I did this, I felt like I was really far into the game. Mm-hmm. The second time I'm doing it, but that's because I was exploring. I spent so much time going off the beaten path, checking every single nook and cranny, doing all of that stuff before I would progress on. And I'm not doing that this time. So the speed at which I got to that point was very surprising. I was like, oh, wow, okay. I don't necessarily know that I'm halfway. I really don't know how far I am because the completion progression covers everything, not story mode. I could probably go in the options and find it there. I really haven't dug into that. Yeah. Just looking at the overall map tells me how much I've done in each section.
Now, someone want to ask you about your New Game Plus experience. Now, all your skills and abilities, do they transfer over, or do you have to reacquire them?
Everything transfers over with the exception of story ability type things. Okay. Yeah. In other words, there are these types of arrows that in the game is your son or boy. There's these types of arrows, two different types of arrows. Ones that make things explode, ones things that make things freeze or whatever. I don't know. They're blue, they're gold, whatever. Mm-hmm. Those are not there at the beginning of the game. You have unlocked all of the abilities. Those abilities are unlocked, but because you haven't yet acquired those in the game, you don't have them, which is very strange because you don't acquire the Blades of Chaos, which is like, the whole God of War thing. Yeah. You don't acquire those until much later in the game, but if you do New Game Plus, you start with them. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot easier because I remember there were these points where I had to, due to the room puzzle or something like that, I had to throw away my main weapon, the axe. Yeah. And it had to stay in a certain position while I maneuvered through something. In fact, it was poison stuff. Like if you threw your axe at it, it would freeze the poison, and that way it wouldn't fill the room. So you could go from point A to point B, but when you go into that area, enemies spawn. Well, you need to lure them out of that area or get out of the way and recall your axe so that you can fight them if you want to, or just use hand-to-hand. Mm-hmm. Going through New Game Plus, you just throw your axe, then you whip out your blades, and you're fine. Mm-hmm. So it's been interesting going back through it this way. And also how speedy it kind of is. I'm also catching references from story beats that I know will pop up in Ragnarok in the sequel, only for the fact that I've seen the trailers that I have seen of it. I haven't caught any spoilers on the game. I've read reviews, or I haven't read reviews. I've watched reviews, very non-spoilery reviews that I've looked at, but they're all still rolling the same B footage that Sony provides, and there's little parts in here that I'm now coming across story-wise in the first game that, mentions that in the second game. So there's that. And then, what else did this little thing here. I started playing it on PC this morning. And it's free to play on PC. It's the Marvel Snap game. Okay. It's a card game. It's free to play. It's on PC through Steam if you want to do that, but it is also it's also on your phone. And again, it is completely free to play on your phone. I am already at I'm already at level 7 on the season pass, and I am at level 12 on the collection level. So it moves pretty fast. There is progression pretty much every time you play, there's progression. And I'm also doing my word game. But every time you play, there's progression. And there's rewards for it and everything else. The games are quick. 6 turns, that's it. That's all that goes through. 6 turns. So you've got a deck, they've got a deck, and then there's 3 location points on the board. You put a card on one of those 3 location points, you get points for how much that card is worth. Mm-hmm. At the end of the game, whoever's got most points on the locations wins that locations, the best of 3. Mm-hmm. So in other words, there's 3 locations. If I win 2 of those, I'm the winner. If I lose 2 or all 3, I'm the loser. So, that sort of thing. It's just best of 3. Takes absolutely no time to play a game, which is why you'll sit there and play and play and play and play over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. The monetary issue on the thing, the whole, it's free to play. So you're thinking, okay, how do they make money?
Yeah. The first question that came to my mind.
Money right now is like you can buy credits with real world money. It doesn't get you anything though. In other words, you can't spend it to buy more cards. You can spend it to upgrade cards, but upgrades are purely cosmetic. Mm-hmm. So there are like the first, I wish I could show you.
So there's nothing in there you can buy that can make it easier for you to win.
No, not really. So, no, there's really not.
And I think that's the standby that people are looking for, really.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find a card here. Okay, here's Wolfsbane didn't open up. Has Wolfsbane been upgraded?
I haven't seen that character in a long time.
Right.
In anything.
Let's try Iron Man. Okay, there's Iron Man. You can see Iron Man on the thing. Right? Iron Man, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. Now, if I upgrade Iron Man, and I can't really... Oh, wait, I do have a second Iron... Why do I have a second Iron Man? Okay. Let's take Hawkeye, for instance. Nope, he's not good to see on the phone. Hulk is okay to see. Okay. There's Hulk, his card. Okay. That's the first upgrade. The first upgrade gives you a thing where the characters kind of come out of the card, they break frame. And then when you upgrade it a third time, like there's Cyclops with his abilities kind of coming outside of the card. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well this will work on a thing, but I've upgraded Medusa, and she gets the frame break, but she also gets 3D. And so it looks... I don't know how that... I don't think that shows... maybe it shows up. You can. I'm not sure how that shows up on the screen.
It's like just that 3D photo on Facebook or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I don't have anything I can upgrade at the moment, but yeah. So, and I don't know what happens when you go in further than that, but, it just really, really addictive in a way that doesn't feel addictive. Because 6 turns per match, man. You're done in a match within like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. 2 or 3 minutes, you're done. And it's on to the next match or collect the rewards or whatever else. I mean, there's just, it's good. It's really good. Yeah, I know. There's AC Wright's thinking about the radio aspect of this. I'm showing people on Twitch. That's one of those things. If you're watching on Twitch, you get to see the stuff. And and if you can't, I'm trying the best I can explain to tell you about it, but not very well. Still, free to play. Download it and look at yourself. Takes absolutely nothing at all. You don't have to spend a dime. Just download the app on your phone, regardless, iOS, Android, it's on both. Or you can actually download it on Steam. Steam is just a port from the app. In other words, it was developed for mobile first, and then it was ported to Steam, although with Steam, it is a situation where they are working on making it its own thing on PC. so that it's not just a port of the mobile app. It'll be, a fully featured type thing there. Mm-hmm. You do have to have like a Google account or something. We don't have to. But in order to save progress and in order to play across platforms like on the phone and then back on your PC, you need some way to do that. And I think they're using Google. So get you a Google name and do that. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. And everybody in the chat room there, we got Duke Frukum and Maltharan in there, otherwise known as Josh and Steve, I believe. So, hey guys, are you there?
Hi there.
I see. I heard you, Josh. I did not hear Steve, though. Uh-oh.
There we go.
Yeah, I still can't hear. Yeah, he's fixing some stuff. Yeah. Tell you what, we're going.
Get the mic together.
Yeah. We'll go to. He'll get that figured out. And
that's Windows changing my settings.
There he is. Hey, we got a few minutes before we go to a break. If you guys want to just mention what you've been playing real quick, since that's what we were talking about, and I'll start with you, Josh. Anything new?
The new God of War.
Oh, okay. Well, you just heard my spiel on that, so watch the spoiler talk. That's all I'd ask.
Of course.
Yeah. And what about you, Steve? Anything new?
Nothing new. Cleaning up my lists because I got a big stretch of games I'm anticipating over the next 2-3 months. So, really weird games I'm playing, like City Skylines, like catching up on all the DLC that they released over the years.
That's a lot of catching up then. If you're doing DLC, man.
I think they just released a big bundle.
They're doing another big
DLC
bundle, yeah.
On PlayStation Plus, they did, yeah.
I've been slowly collecting them over like Steam sales because they're really expensive. They're like $15 a piece. Like if you were to just up and buy everything right now, you'd spend over like $250. Yeah, on all their.
No, it's a lot. I grabbed all of them through, or at least all of them released up until that point through a Humble Bundle sale that was going on.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, not too long ago they did a Humble Bundle sale which gave you all of the DLC that had been released so far, and if you paid a certain amount, you got a 25% discount on some other DLC that was out there that was not involved in the sale. So It caught me up, and it probably caught me up for about, I don't know, $30.
Yeah, I'm looking at the PlayStation Store thing now. It's the City Skylines Ultimate Content Bundle. It's like was $99, now it's $40. I'm trying to see a description of everything that comes in there with it, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh, it's too much. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It is a lot of content, and I haven't really gotten back into the game to really enjoy or do anything with it either. So
just one of those times.
That's the funny thing. Like when I got into it, it was almost like I was doing the No Man's Sky thing all over again, where I hadn't played it in like a certain amount of years, and then it's almost like a brand new game.
Yeah,
it's like you come back to it, and it's like, oh my god, where did all this content come from? Like the Industries DLC alone is worth hours and hours of trying to get that up and running in your city. Like that alone is almost like a game within a game, trying to figure that out.
I may fire that one up tomorrow. I've got the time to just whatever, so I may fire that up again tomorrow. I think they've got a VR thing for Quest, for the MetaQuest, and I think it'll be out for PSVR 2 as well. I'm not sure, but I think it's just called Cities VR, but I think it's affiliated with City Skylines.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I'm actually surprised there's even more DLC coming, because I would have thought maybe City Skylines 2 was kind of on the horizon.
Because this game is pretty old.
About
it's been out for a while, right?
2015, I think.
Yeah. Way overdue for a sequel. I say a sequel, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's like, this is what we can do, and we can do this DLC. Maybe the DLC they keep putting out is moving the needle for them to be able to afford to work on the sequel, I guess. The money needle, anyway. But
that's exactly what I think they're doing. They're monetizing just, as a service where they can pump out something, charge something for it, and then develop whatever is their next game.
Yeah, because that's something I have not read in. There's no rumors, there's no talk, there's no hints, there's nothing about them working on.
There's been a little bit.
Has there?
I've been on in like the corners of Reddit, like me trying to figure out how stuff works. There's people dropping it, kind of.
Okay.
but like there's no evidence to it. There's just speculation based on I don't know, people looking at the DLC packs and noticing something, or stuff like that. It's just nothing, no announcements or any big things like that.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, our first break here of the show. When we come back, we'll talk to you guys not only about what you've been playing or whatever you want to talk about, actually, and hit some of the news and everything else. So we'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat here in just a few. Music here from a game called The Entropy Center. It is like Portal, but manipulating time.
So Control?
No, maybe. I don't know.
Persia?
No, not
Time?
Prince of Persia. Basically, you have a gun.
You know how many games you can say that?
Right, I know. But it's so, in Portal, you had a portal gun, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this one you have a time gun.
Okay.
So, in other words, you pick up an item, move it to one spot, sit it on a button, then you pick it up and move it to another spot and sit it on a button. That's 2 button presses. Maybe one button raises a lever or raises a platform for you to get up to the second floor, and the other button opens the door to get into the next room. Mm-hmm. So you put it on the first one, and it raises the platform. You pick it up, and then you put it on the second one, and it opens the door. Then you go stand on the platform. You aim your gun at the box that you used. You pull the trigger or whatever, and it moves the box back in time to where you had put it originally. So then you get up, you go there, then you press the button again, it moves the box, it puts it back where it was before. So you've got to think.
That doesn't sound like time manipulation. It sounds like more just telekinetic.
Well,
gun.
I mean, yeah, you could be that way, but I'm giving you the most simplistic explanation of how the game works.
Basically a puzzle game.
Yes,
playing with
because
time.
eventually it gets very, very complicated as to how you make these things happen.
Yeah.
But that's basically how it works. It's like it's Portal but with time, not portals. Anyway, we'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is doing very well. I mean, it's Call of Duty title. They don't really have too much of a problem, but this one's doing extremely well, sales figures wise. The reviews aren't bad.
So what makes it stand out from the others?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Other than it being the latest in the series.
I've heard this one seems more like an early access game than the last ones.
Oh, does it?
It's missing a lot of stuff, basically.
I have no idea because I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a long time.
So what's missing from this one this time around?
It's more like they are withholding a lot of stuff until season 1 starts. So that's what I heard. At least I don't have the game. I didn't play it.
I gotcha. I was mainly only talking about the single player campaign because that's all I've really paid attention to.
But it's bread and butter is in the multiplayer thing, right?
It is. It totally is.
So yeah.
But apparently, and I was watching. I think it was the Digital Foundry. When they do their thing on the way the game looks and everything, it looks. They specifically cover that Amsterdam level, which. Ain't a lot of gunplay going on. There's not a lot going on in that level, but it's impressively beautiful. Impressive with the way that they got it looking and the way they got it working. Yeah, it's good stuff. And then they went in to talk about water effects. They went in to talk about all sorts of different things, lighting as well with it. It's technically it's very good. I don't know about gameplay wise or anything like that, but just in the technical part of it. Something to see. So,
okay.
But yeah, nothing like that. We were going to talk about something. Yeah, you're talking about City Skylines. Oh yeah, you picked up your first little Black Friday deal.
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah, your mic's on. The Quarry.
Quarry.
For PS4.
Right.
And it was $20. We were talking about this last week. Turned out it was the Xbox Series X and the PS5 was the PS5 version. That we saw was $20, I think, because remember you were looking that up
as well.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
I'm talking about last week when you were looking at this.
Yeah, I was looking at it, but I was looking at it again. It's like the PS4 was like 1990 something, and then the PlayStation 5 version was like exactly 1999.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that last week, though, right? When you were here last week, I had sent you a link. And it was the PS5 version, and you found the PS4 version, but it was still Amazon. Yeah, that was still full price.
We were looking at Amazon's. Amazon's was still $40.
Walmart's was too.
Walmart's was $20 on one console in particular, but for whatever reason.
But not PS4.
Not PS4, but on PS4 it was $20. Well, that link you sent me.
Yeah, because it was whatever reason it had finally dropped. So, and that's the way you have to deal with some of these sales, Black Friday deals, whatever it may be. Sometimes it doesn't get rolled out as well as it should. It may take a little bit before it reaches everything that it's got to reach in order to do that.
I think I said that about Walmart. Walmart has some weird pricing sometimes, something in their algorithm or system that just messes things up sometimes.
But the other part of it is that we don't have a lot to say about Black Friday deals right now. Nobody's released their what do you want to call it? Nobody's released their ads. Nobody's released their lists, their stuff as to what's going to be on sale for Black Friday. Best Buy has said nothing. Target has said nothing. GameStop has said nothing. Walmart has said nothing. Very little. There's a lot of pre-Black Friday prices going on. A lot of people saying, hey, here's early Black Friday deals. But they haven't released the official Black Friday stuff, with the exception of the store we do not have in my area here, or our area here.
I want to say
Myers.
MEIJER, I think.
Yeah, we don't have one of those.
Yeah.
But they did release their Black Friday prices. Horizon Forbidden West, which came out in February of this year, was down to, I think, $30 or less for their Black Friday deal, which means it looks like I'll be picking up Horizon Forbidden West come Black Friday. If it normally follows that's the way it'll be for other locations as well.
I think I was thinking about it earlier. I mean, because of so many early Black Friday prices, like you said, maybe they've shown their hand already and see how much they can sales they can get without releasing anything.
That's a good point. They don't want to, if the Quarry is out there now at $20, but it's going to be on sale Black Friday for $15.
I ain't gonna be mad at that.
Well, I'm sure, but don't put it out there until later. Mm-hmm. I could get that if that's the way they're going. It's probably not, though. Anyway, let's see. What do you want to say, Josh? What do you want to say about God of War? What can you say about God of War?
It's more God of War for sure.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, improved upon in than 2018's version, or
Well, the thing is, the last time I played the 2018 God of War was 2018, so I can't make quite the direct comparison. But it plays well. It looks fantastic. I got one of those LG CX TVs, so I can play it on those.
You got the VRR?
120 frames.
Yeah, buddy. I missed it. I was a year behind, probably about 2 years behind when I got my OLED screen. It did not come with the HDMI 2.1 VRR variable refresh rate. So I'll be playing at 60 frames per second. Unless
60 is fine. I'm streaming it with 60.
Yeah, unless I come into a massive amount of money, darn Powerball, where I can get where I can pick up one of those screens. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I just missed it by that much.
Yeah.
When it released. So yeah. How long, how many hours into it are you?
I think around 10, probably 12, maybe.
Okay.
I haven't been playing that much yet.
Have you been playing anything else or just that?
I also played some Dusk recently.
Okay.
Really good.
Yep, great game.
That's the game that ruined Doom for me. Because I played it right before playing the 2016 remake or reboot, whatever you want to call it.
Of Doom, yeah.
And the pacing, like everyone in Doom was like, "Oh my god, it's a shooter relived, it's reinvented, it's back." And then I played Dusk first, and I'm like, "Holy, fast paced! This game is fast paced." And then I played Doom, and it felt like everything was in slow motion.
I'm not a big fast paced guy. That was one of the reasons. So I think everybody's intro to like first person shooter would probably be something like Doom, the original Doom, or Wolf 3D or whatever from way back when. But my modern first person shooter, the modern thing that I played was Halo. And then, I heard everybody talking about, oh man, Quake or Unreal Tournament. Hey, let's play Unreal Tournament. And I was just like, wow, this moves way too fast. It is you just zoom around those levels in Unreal. I remember it released for Xbox One back when Xbox Live was first out there. And I picked it up thinking, oh man, if Halo was great online, this is going to be great since it's built for multiplayer. It's just all Got in there, I was like, I can't do this. Too fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast.
Yeah, I'm looking at video of Dusk right now on Steam's website. And that is Unreal Tournament fast paced.
Yeah, it just does not appeal to me.
Like, are you even aiming? It's something obscures your field of vision. Just pull the trigger.
I know, it's just like run by shooting, boom, boom. Yeah. As you keep moving.
I mean, Dusk it's a little bit. It's hard to. I get what you're saying about Halo comparison to Unreal Tournament. Those things are night and day. With Dusk, it starts you off kind of in short, small quarter hallways type of atmosphere, and then it really opens up later. You have these giant fields, and even this entire area that turns into like a tornado, kind of passing right through the middle of it. And that's where kind of the fast pacedness becomes, very fun, because then you have these hordes of enemies that are trying to get you. And in classic Doom, form, the enemies will attack each other if like one of their projectiles, if they get in the way of like another one's projectiles. I love that. I love trying to go around a map in games like that to see how many enemies I can kill without firing a shot. Like, just see how many they could just like tear themselves to pieces before I even shoot anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a fun thing about the difficulty in the game is when you lower the difficulty, the enemy projectiles also get slower.
Interesting.
It's kind of like R-Type, actually. The lower the difficulty, the
slower the fire rate.
The slower the bullets come, and the number. So yeah, vast difference between normal and I think R-Typer. Is the highest difficulty in that game. So yeah, it's just like that, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you wanted to bring up, Josh? Anything else you want to talk about?
Other than that, I've been playing some more Vermintide 2 in preparation for Darktide.
Man,
me too.
That's pretty much about it.
Let's see, 10 million people picked up the free copy of Vermintide 2 while it was free.
It's a good game.
Is it still free, or did they finally take it off?
Not sure actually. I gotta check.
Yeah, I think it may still be free, or maybe it was just for that week or something like that. But yeah, 10 million. Oh wow, the DLC is free too. Oh, the Trail of Treachery free DLC.
It was like
Yeah, that's
$6.
a content update.
It says it's free.
The game itself is no longer free,
Oh, okay.
but it's heavily discounted.
Yeah, you're looking on Steam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Steam at $6, 80% off.
Yeah, goodness. Well, if you didn't get it free, $6, not
Not bad at all.
bad at all.
$6 for that game. Nope, not at all.
Did you already buy Dark Tide by any chance?
I'm waiting for the beta, how that turns out the first couple of days, and then decide if I'll be getting it then or wait until it's released.
Yeah, I got into the first beta, or was it an alpha? I don't know, but I think it's going to be a game that kind of takes off a little bit, because it's really, I mean, this is why I started playing Back 4 Blood recently, because I was kind of itching for a Left 4 Dead game. And I was like, oh, well, I have this in my account now. Let me play it before Darktide comes out, so I can kind of get my bearings to see just how Turtle Rock was doing, you know, after Evolve, and see if it's anything like Left 4 Dead, and then it'll prep me for some more 4-player co-op action. And but yeah, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it. Am I allowed to talk about it?
I mean,
Can't remember.
The last beta you can talk about. You were allowed
Okay.
to stream that as well.
Yeah, that's the one that I only got a couple of hours in. I joined super late, like hours before it was even closing. And there's some things I didn't really understand in it. Heavily melee based, right? I mean, it does have guns, but it seems like there's a lot of melee action.
Yeah, but
in
it's shifting more towards ranged combat compared to Vermintide.
Yeah, I would hope so, because that using a mix is fine. You just have to find that balance. And if you don't do the balance correctly, you'll end up with something like Back 4 Blood, which is I was going to talk about, just my disappointment with that game. Across, I don't know if you played that either. If you
No,
were
go ahead.
a
Go
Left 4 Dead.
talk right about it. I mean, just go right into it. We've still got, 7 minutes here for the top of the hour, so feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for. I mean, everybody was, right? Left 4 Dead 3 is what
Yeah.
we were expecting from Back 4 Blood. And it's got the same concept. It doesn't have that Valve polish. There's something not right about the gameplay. And the big thing that's not right is the difficulty range from expert to whatever the hardest difficulty is. It's basically like too easy up until a certain point, and then it's like, okay, now this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. There's no middle ground when you're stepping up for the difficulty, and that's what really bugged me about the game. Aside from the fact that it didn't have that polish, and it felt like the zombies that were thrown at you were jerky. Their climbing mechanic was broken, so like you see them start to climb, then all of a sudden they're in front of you.
Yeah.
So you didn't, you can't plan right. The melee options are almost completely broken, which, was a huge focus around Left 4 Dead. It just seems like none of it really works. They get too close and then you're just taking damage. And then, it's just the ending of every chapter. I mean, the chapters are overly long now, right? Like, because the Left 4 Dead ones, I think there were like 4 segments each, and there was a big finale. And in Back 4 Blood, some of them are like 5. There's, one, I don't even know if they call it chapter. One episode is split into 2 chapters, and each chapter may have 4 or 5 or 3 segments to it. So it's very confusing. It's and then the cards getting so that's the big change, right? Like you couldn't just do Back 4 Blood and then make it a Left 4 Dead 3. You had to add another element to it, which is these decks. You get a deck of cards, and it's basically you can kind of build some perks for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then after every segment of the chapter you're doing, they'll throw some negative cards at you. So one negative card will be like, oh, power's out, so only emergency exit doors will work, and then of course that attracts zombies, right? So that's a negative to the experience, and then you can pick your decks around whatever negatives that they throw at you, but only at the beginning of when you start. So you can add things like extra ammo, extra health. And then there's like good things like when you're crouched, you give no friendly fire and take no friendly fire. And then so there's good cards that you can unlock, but you got to play a lot, to unlock them. And then to even get to a point where you can probably play the harder chapters that's probably what they were going for, is like they want you to unlock those really special cards that allow you to survive the harder difficulties rather than just kind of playing through the harder difficulties. And I think the game would have been fine itself without the card factor, but they're stretching it out, right? Like they know that if there's stuff to unlock, people will play longer, or I think that's the impression that you want to have from it. But I just want to play on the hardest difficulty without anything. I want to try, but now I'm kind of stuck. I don't think I can get past certain difficulties without those special cards.
Never was a fan of integrating cards into my games. Now, the card game that I'm playing is a completely different thing, but anytime, what is it? Midnight Suns, I think, that's coming out later. I thought was, when it was announced or talked about, it was going to be it's Firaxis. I thought it was going to be kind of, I think it's Firaxis, maybe it's not, but like a 4X, Marvel thing with the superheroes. Yeah. I thought it would be great with like that, but then it's like, well, it's not only that, but it's also card based, and I thought, no, please no. Cards have really been a difficult path of entry for me, in any sort of situation like this. And I mean, at first, this whole snap thing wasn't doing it for me as I was playing it, because I guess I was just not understanding how it was working. But the more I played it, the more I realized, now I figured out the mechanics. And I mean, it is simplified massively, which is not what is going to be afforded to me in other games that use this as another type of gameplay mechanic. So yeah, I don't know where I sit with that, but yeah, I don't know. Turtle Rock, right? For Back 4 Blood, they're trying. Back 4 Blood I don't think made the waves that they wanted it to make. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I don't think it was a disappointment, but I don't think it was also a big major success for them that I know of.
It certainly doesn't feel like the first two Left 4 Deads. That's the big thing, that because I went and booted up Left 4 Dead 2 right after I played Back 4 Blood, and I'm like, this feels so much. It just feels smoother. The enemies, it's clearer, what you're fighting against. The special infected in Back 4 Blood is a mess. It is in Left 4 Dead, you can hear and you can understand exactly what's coming, right? Just by the growl or the snarl in the distance. With Back 4 Blood, you have one special infected enemy that's like got 3 or 4 different offspring to it. So it might be, and there's like 100 different names. Like, so they're constantly calling out all the, I'm like, just call it a boomer. Call it a liquor or a smoker. Call it all the things that you used to, and instead they make up, new names for it. And
it means the same
wicked
thing.
Confusing.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, we've got to go to a break here, but before we do, we're going to go to the phones. Hi, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
It's me, Chris.
What's up, Chris? What's going on, man?
Getting inside the house to get out of this cold weather that we're about to experience.
I love the cold weather. I'm so glad it's here. So glad it's here.
It already feels like it's in the 40s right now.
Yeah, it's 54. At least up here it's 54. I don't know where it is where you are, but 54 so far.
The wind chill factor was pretty chilly. I mean, it may have been a little warmer, but it felt like mid-40s to me, or around 50 or something. But yeah, I've got hooked completely on Harvestella on the Switch.
I've got music from Harvestella coming up later on this hour. Or not this hour, but later on in the show. Heard some good things about it. A game that's been out for a while, actually, but just got I want to say a Switch release, or maybe it was a PC and Switch release. But I know it just released on Switch this week, or this past week, I believe.
Yeah, it's been out since, I think, Friday.
Yeah, but now it's out on Switch. It's an RPG farmer type thing, right?
Yeah, it's got a good mix of both of those. I mean, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It seems like it's almost a perfect blend. The combat and everything is pretty simple and straightforward, and the different classes that you can swap over to, do this, and certain enemies are weak against certain type of attack that the classes offer. It's real fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, I've even got Sonic and the new God of War as well, and they're going to be probably after Christmas. Plus, I've got other games I was playing before this one came out, and I was like, I'll just pop this in real quick, and I hadn't touched anything else.
Yep. Yep. I get it. Because I know how that happens. Plenty of times. It's usually why I don't buy multiples at a time. I'll buy the one, and if that holds me over, then that's fine. Then I'll eventually get the next one, down the line.
Yeah.
Kind of sitting that way with Sonic right now. Although the weird thing is that I've read most of the reviews that I came across on Sonic were kind of harsh on it, but mostly on the technical aspect of it. Otherwise, it's not too bad, actually, and a lot of people say that there's a lot of potential there for something better. Maybe if they can fine tune what they've got right now and make something better next time, because there's a lot of good things at play. There's and the problems with it are minuscule, just need to be worked on.
So is it something basically like nothing a patch can't fix?
I don't know about a patch.
Well, not that minor.
Well, in some aspects, maybe the pop-in situation that it has.
Oh, okay.
And it says the Switch version is just, and I'm sure that's the one did you get it on Switch?
I got both of them. The Switch is staying sealed, and I'm going to play it on PlayStation.
Okay, good. Because I heard the Switch version is horrible.
Yeah, I've read the same thing. It said, yep, I made up my mind. I'm going to leave the other ones sealed and be one of those, ones like that. Oh, well, it's nice to have it, but I'll just play it on the better system.
Yeah. The PS5 and the Xbox Series, or just any of the consoles other than the Switch, you're going to be okay to play on. PC is looking good because apparently it is open for modder folks to work on. Mod community can have at it on that one.
Yeah, you'll have your DS fix type on there if need be.
Yeah. All right, Chris. Well, it's good hearing from you, man.
All right, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right, dude. Take care.
Take care now.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. We'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat. Music here from Resident Evil Reverse. Resident Evil Versus or Reverse? I can't remember what it's called.
I think it's Verse.
Something like that. It's the main menu music. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chats. And Steve had to run. Had to put the kids to bed. I guess. 6 o'clock, but sure.
I'm still here.
I'm glad you're. Well, it's what time is it where you're at? I always ask this, but yeah,
Past midnight at this point.
that's right. Yeah. So, what were you doing earlier before the show? Playing God of War?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. A lot of exploring, I guess. A lot of off the beaten path things that you can do there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing all the side stuff before
Right.
continuing with the main stuff again.
Yep. Yeah, I've come across the side stuff. By the way, that music you heard was from Harvestella, which is out on Switch now. But I believe it's also out on PlayStation and PC, or has been for a while now. So, yeah.
I think the way you were describing it earlier, it's the side quests and the exploring that gives the game its length. The way you were describing the God of War, the remake of God of War.
I think any game does that. Yeah, I think most games do that. It's if it has that sort of aspect to it, and God of War does.
Yeah.
Like God of War actually has side missions that you can take on. Compared to something like an Uncharted title, there's no side quests in Uncharted. Yes, there's areas where you can explore and find collectibles, but there's not a go find, example from the first game was you meet a ghost and the ghost says, I need you to find the bones of my wife or something like that. They've been stolen. You can choose to do that as you go about playing the game, or you don't have to.
I'm just going off of what I played from the original God of War titles. It was last.
There's no side quests there either.
No story. It was just a story. Just go from here and there and do what needs to be done. I mean, I think about the Fallout series. I mean, if it wasn't for the side quests, I mean, the game would be done in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Because it was like just get from point A to point B, but you had to have those side quests to level up so that you could do those missions anyway. So I guess the same applies here.
Yep. I mean, I'm looking forward to it whenever I get around to it. Did you just get the game, or did you get one of those collector's edition things, or?
Oh, I just got the game.
Yeah. I'm thinking that's probably the way I'm going to go too. I don't know if I'll do the digital deluxe edition or not, but yeah.
So what offhand, you know what comes with that?
Some extra pieces of armor for the characters there, digital soundtrack, like a PS4 theme or 5 theme or something. I don't know what it was, but something to that effect, and that's about it. Not too much, not a lot of special stuff.
Sounds like a little $10.
Yeah, it's enough for them
to
to add some money to it. $20 extra, by the way.
Oh, it's $20. Okay.
Well, the game is $60, I believe, or is it $70?
Probably $70 on PS. Yeah, it's $70 on PS5.
Okay, so the digital deluxe is
$60 on PS4.
all right. The digital deluxe is $80. So yeah, it is $10 more than for the PS5
on
version.
PS5, yeah.
Yeah, and there is no free upgrade on this one. If you buy the PS4, then you can't upgrade. You can upgrade, obviously, but for an extra $10 you can get an upgrade to it.
Wait, is that only on the PS5 only digital deluxe edition? As the armor, the
right.
Okay.
PS4 didn't come with one.
No, okay. PS4 did not get that.
No,
okay.
it did not.
Huh. Only ones you're getting is the collector's edition, not the digital deluxe. Man.
Yep.
Subtle hint. Get a PS5, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. You don't necessarily have to. It depends. Again, it goes back to what you want to play on.
Yeah.
Or what games you want, if the games if you're fine with what you're playing with on your PS4, because we are still in the generation of previous gen and current gen releases. In other words, for the most part, we're still getting, especially with our first party games, we're still getting both systems being made games for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with a few exceptions here and there, because I think about R-Type Final 3. I've only seen it available for PS5.
Really?
Haven't seen anything about it. Haven't seen anything mentioned for PS4 at all. So that might be one of those things where trends we might be seeing now.
Is it out, or is there rumor?
It's something that's going to be coming out later. But I've only heard it mentioned for PS5, not for the PS4. Now, if something's changed before then, after I first saw it, I haven't heard about it yet.
Okay. R-Type Final 3 Evolved is just R-Type Final 2, but on the PS5.
Mm-hmm. With all the DLC?
All the DLC stages from Stage Pass 1.
Mm-hmm.
Along with unreleased bonus stages, making this a must-have title for new and veteran shoot-'em-up fans alike.
Yep. Yep, new stuff.
Yeah, but from what I can tell, it's just R-Type Final 2 for the PS5, obviously. So, I didn't know that. Yeah, Gotham Knights is another one. Ooh, Gotham Knights is another one that is, it's not previous gen and current gen. It is current gen only on that release. Although you wouldn't know it to look at it.
Yeah.
And nothing about that screams next gen. And from what I understand, God of War Ragnarok, nothing about that screams next gen really either.
Yeah, in an interview somewhere, I think they mentioned they made this game with PS4 in mind first.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell, I mean, it looks nice, but it's not an amazing jump. But at this point, it's getting difficult to make amazing jumps as well.
Right, it is. And playing back through God of War on PS5 right now with, I guess, whatever they did to do some enhancements for it or whether, not very much, it still looks really, really good. It's still a good-looking game. And so they don't really have to, I've said this about many games before, especially the Burnout series. It's like you don't have to make it look prettier. If you're going to make another one, don't sacrifice.
Stick with what got you here in the first
the
place.
gameplay for something that just looks better.
Yeah.
I will take, I'll take 10 Burnouts.
Yeah, you don't have to have the prettiest graphics in the world.
Just give me different places to play in.
Have a good and entertaining game. You really don't.
No.
I mean, heck, we had the pixel art games that had some pretty memorable titles come out.
Yeah.
They weren't pretty. They were pixelated, of course, but they were still fun and interesting to play. So yeah.
It doesn't always need a polish as far as the looks are concerned.
Yeah, it's better if it has a great style to it,
Yeah.
a unique style, rather
you're
than
playing
just
now.
looks realistic.
Did you start out playing in the 120, or did you go through it a little bit in the 4K 30 or the 4K 40? I guess is what it would be for you. 4K resolution, 40 frames per second. Did you go through that any, or did you just start out with the 120?
I started out with the 60 because I'm having to push it through the streaming box.
Oh, that's right. You're streaming this.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I play it on 60. Sometimes I turn it on for the 120
Okay.
frames over quality.
I got you. Well, I look forward to playing it. I don't know I think I'm playing it. You know what? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look and check my settings, the original God of War settings, to see what I have it set as. I don't even know that it came with anything, so there may not be anything like that to go with quality over.
Not something you thought about when you loaded it up. Just put it in and play.
Well, I don't believe there was on the PS4 Pro. Was where I was playing it on the first time. And I want to say it did have some sort of, scale of you can play it at this resolution, but at this frame cap, or you can play it at this lower resolution with this frame cap. And I know I did it for Uncharted when I did the replay for for that little combination thing that they did where they upscaled everything. I know I played that one on the 60 frames per second mode. I took it off the 4K and went down to, I think it was just 1080 and played at 60 frames per second. It was fine that way. It really, really was. It totally was. But I'll have to go back and look. I plan on playing a little bit of it more tonight, and I plan on playing a lot tomorrow as well. I'm trying to get us through this as quick as I can so I can get started on Ragnarok, knowing that I've got from now until a little ways into December before the next season of Destiny 2 comes out.
Oh yeah.
And my only concern about that is that the math on the length of seasons in Destiny 2, this next one's going to be a short one. compared to when the next expansion release. The next expansion release is February 20-something. And this new season starts December 6th or something like that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So you're getting...
You're not getting 3 months.
You're not getting the full... Yeah, it's going to be a short season.
Yeah.
Which hopefully they scale what they... hopefully they can scale back on what they require you to do usually for the regular seasonal content.
Yeah.
I would hope. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I'm anticipating a grindy holiday season.
Yeah. Because it's still going to be 99 rewards for the season, right?
Right. There's that. I don't have any worry about getting to that now, especially since I'm banking bounties right now. I have no concern about getting there. I'm talking about just the seasonal challenges, going through and playing Gambit like I do and gilding the title, doing the Conqueror, all these other things that I normally do that I have plenty of time to work with is cut short by almost a month, it feels like.
Yeah.
August 23rd was when this current season started, I think. August 23rd was when the current season started. It goes all the way to like December 2nd or December 6th, something like that.
Yeah.
That's when the next one starts, and it goes to February 20-something. It's not very long. It is 2 full months at least. So it's almost 3 months. Almost 3 months. But it feels shorter. So anyway.
Yeah.
Not that that's really going to have an effect. I mean, if God of War hooks me, it hooks me, and I'll be there to do it.
Look, as long as when you get to Ragnarok, as long as you don't play it like you did.
I never want to play a game like I did that before. Never want to play like I did Last of Us 2.
Never play a story-based game in piecemeal segments. Don't
want to do that again. That was horrible. I did a disservice to myself and that game by playing it the way that I did.
Yeah.
And I really shouldn't have done that. So,
Well, you learned your lesson.
I did. I don't mind that I learned it on Last of Us Part 2, by the way. I'm okay with that.
I mean, at that point, the best you can do at that point is look at a playthrough on YouTube.
Yeah.
One of those
well, it really took away,
videos.
it took a little bit of the shine away, I suppose. It's kind of like when you're eating a meal and you just keep gorging on it, and then suddenly it's like, oh gosh, I'm too full. I ate too much. Mm-hmm. If you'd gone slower, you would have been okay and not felt, overstuffed or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like just have a couple hours in a session, and then go do something else, and then come back the next day. But you had sessions, but you had those long gaps.
Get long gaps.
Long gaps in there.
The analogy I was trying to make was the fact that it gave me more time to think about what I was experiencing. Mm-hmm. So I'd play the little section. I'd think on it for about a month or two.
but you lost the flow.
Oh no, totally. I get it. I know I did. Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. It took the momentum away. Mm-hmm. And so when I finally did get to the end, what I'm sure for a lot of players was like, oh, this grueling thing. For me was like, the motivation's completely gone. Why are they doing this? Yeah, it's been months. Why can't they just work this out? For me, it had been months. For them, it's not so much. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What do we got on our news charts here that we saved up here? I got a bunch of review roundups for Sonic Frontiers, which you kind of already talked about. God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok's sitting at like a 94 on Metacritic. It is just, there's 2 Game of the Year contenders this year. Mm-hmm. God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. And those are your contenders for Game of the Year. I do not see anybody else pulling out with that unless for whatever stupid reason.
Something the newest.
They throw in Last of Us Part 1, which is the remake thing, which it shouldn't count.
No, and no.
It shouldn't count. Did they do Dark Souls when that got remake?
I wouldn't be thinking about Dark Souls. It's okay when
I don't think so.
Come out.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did because I don't think it can be. I'm moving the microphone. I don't think it can be used that way. But I don't know. But I think those are your 2 contenders for Game of the Year so far. God of War Ragnarok, and I think there's something else. Oh, Callisto Protocol, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that.
When does that release?
It's coming up this month.
Okay, it's the hot new thing.
Next month.
Or is it next month? It is December? Okay.
December, yeah.
It may not. It may miss the cutoff for getting Game of the Year. We're getting nominees on Monday for the Game Awards.
Oh.
Not that I ever cared about the awards part of the Game Awards, because they don't care about the awards part of the Game Awards.
Yeah. I was thinking of Callisto. I mean, the hot new title, if it does well enough, the hot new thing freshes in everyone's mind. That might get some pull some kind of way.
Wait, it's Dead Space remake that hits this month, I think, right?
No, Dead Space is January.
That's next year. Okay, I'll remember it. God, it'll all hit me at one point. But yeah. But I think those are your two contenders: God of War and Elden Ring.
Right now, your two contenders right now, and they're already. I think in some social media circles, they're already trash talking each other about the results.
Modern Warfare 2 probably will make the nominee for in Game of the Year, but I don't think it's going to pull. I think Elden Ring and God of War have a much better chance at winning that than Call of Duty does. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's probably another game that I'm leaving out that I'm missing. And I can't think of what it could be, but I feel like there's another game that I am leaving off the list of, that'll be a contender.
Yeah.
But I cannot think of Bayonetta 3, doubt it.
No. I'm thinking for Elden Ring, it was the numbers, the sheer numbers that are brought in, introducing a whole bunch of people to the Soul series and the popularity it got at the initial point. And then for God of War, you had an epic story with the remake in 2018, and then you got the continuation of said story for this year. Yeah. So you have that, basically epic storytelling. So numbers and draw on one side, and epic storytelling on the other side. And I can't think of anything that hit those two types of interest this year.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, obviously I am, because usually nominees consist of like 5 different titles.
Yeah.
One
of them surprise titles that no one was thinking about.
I know. Was there a big Switch title this year?
Switch?
There was only Switch, maybe? No? I can't think of anything.
Splatoon, maybe?
You know what? Splatoon is a possibility. Splatoon 3 is a very good possibility. I didn't realize how well liked that series was, that franchise was. I thought it was a blessing just to get Splatoon 2 whenever it released. But apparently no, that thing's doing fine. It's completely okay. Mm-hmm. But I thought the first game did not do what they wanted it to do. And then so when I heard they were doing a sequel, I thought, that was probably in development before, Nintendo was not happy with what it had done. And so that's great. So this will be the nice little swan song. And then Splatoon 3, and I was like, what? I didn't think this was... And then that's what alerted me to like, no. There's a big market out there for it. It's fine. Yeah. They'll keep making Splatoons. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know. I think there's some more. But anyway, there's going to be some that are announced, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I forgot that did come out this year. Oh yeah, that came out this year.
That's every year. There's something we ain't thinking about that just pops up. Oh yeah, that did come out.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Forza Horizon 5 released this year, so that's probably in a Game of the Year contender type thing. Even though why? I know. I'm thinking the same way.
Yeah, it's like you think about movies and whatnot. What type of movies are the ones that get those the Oscars and things like that? Those drama filled things like that. You ain't getting no comedy like that. But yeah, so. You're not getting a sports title.
But what qualifies a Game of the Year?
Yeah.
What aspects of a game can qualify it as a contender for Game of the Year?
It depends on who's judging it.
I know. Well, it depends on whoever's giving the award away, because they define their perimeters of Game of the Year must encompass blah, 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 blah. Technical achievements, writing achievements, I don't know, sale achievements maybe? I doubt it.
Some things that the gamers are, something that a lot of gamers probably not even thinking about really, like how much fun did I have playing this game? Mm-hmm. How good was the experience of getting this title?
Was Fall Guys released this year?
Fall Guys?
No. I think that
was last year.
No.
Did Devolver? No, Deathloop was last year.
Inscription was last year as well.
It was. I remember that getting a lot of awards.
I can see Cult of the Lamb getting some kind of nomination.
Ooh, very good.
They did get a lot of talk. Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb. Yeah. There's some Black Friday deals on that going on right now, but not a big deep discount on it. So, Horizon Forbidden West will probably be thrown in there just as an afterthought type of thing, but I think your front runners, like I said, God of War and Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. And of those two, I can't say I haven't played either one of those. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I think Elden Ring, and again, I have not played either one of these titles, Elden Ring over God of War, but I believe it'll be Elden Ring over God of War. And I only say that because of the amount of people that it reached.
Yeah, but I'm more thinking along the lines of how because when did Ragnarok come out?
Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, the 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, give it time. Let people give people enough time to experience the entire story of that game and see how it hits them, and then get the general gist of how they feel about it. Then we'll have a better idea, I think, of where to go from there.
Yeah,
I think God of War will have some recency bias going for it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
The hot new thing, yeah.
I mean, it probably will, but for me, I would probably pick, and only, again, I haven't played them, so I want to keep making that clear. The only reason I think Elden Ring would beat out God of War, and not necessarily even in a Game of the Year contentionship, just as what it is, the fact that it opened the door to a lot of people to that style of game. You mentioned that you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
The amount of people who are now familiar with that style of game and who've now become fans of that style of game is just tremendous. The sale numbers were tremendous. Obviously, it's multi-platform, so it reaches a bigger audience anyway.
That's true.
And so, if you're doing a community vote, I think you're going to get a lot of people marking that thing down for Elden Ring, only for the fact that if they don't have, well, I guess you got PS4 and PS5 for God of War, but you still have to have one of those. If you had an Xbox, or if you had a PC, or if you had a PlayStation, you had Elden Ring to play on either of them. Whereas if it's God of War, you got to be on a PlayStation 4 or 5 if you're going to do that. So I'm not sure how that'll pan out, but we'll see. And this is just for everybody else's list. I don't necessarily mean this is for the Game Awards list, because again, let me stress again, I don't care about those awards because they don't care about those awards. Yeah. If they did, I would hold them in regard, but they don't.
2 hours of show, 30 minutes of substance.
More like 3 hours of show and 30 minutes. I mean, the thing's long. The Game Awards is long because it is overstuffed with trailers, which, I mean, God bless him to do it because he needs the money for putting this thing on. So I'm glad he'll take it where he can get it, but this is why I always say, and I always rant about it, and I'm going to say I'm not going to do it this year, but I probably will. Split it up. Have one show that is nothing but awards, and then have the other show that is nothing but new trailers. Seriously. You're going to see the viewership obviously skew, but I think the industry and the people of that industry obviously would view it a little bit more appropriate, I suppose, if they were given their due to say their thanks or to get their recognition. And they don't have that opportunity. As much as I think they would. Yeah. I was just thinking, I bet there'll be a tribute to Kevin Conroy at the Game Awards. Just for his work, and not just for his work in the Arkham games, but just for his work. I'm sure he voiced other games as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was some. I hated that news yesterday.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yep.
I had a friend of mine, Dave, who's been on the show. He sent me a text. He said, you heard anything on Conroy passing? And I'm like, I don't know who that is. Because, I expected Kevin Conroy, but Dave is a guy who really likes wrestling. So I wasn't sure if there was a wrestler who had passed by the name of Conroy. So I had to ask him, and he said, the guy that voiced Batman. And I said, whoa. So I immediately hit the internet. And sure enough, there it was. And I just, God, it hurt. It hurt. I went home and I watched Batman the Animated Series. I watched an episode from the third season of the series. And I didn't want to pick stuff I'd seen like over and over again. From the third season, there were a lot of great episodes of that show. I'm going way off topic here. The animation style changed in the third season, and the stories got a little bit more. It was like they were experimentation with their storytelling, with the way they were doing it. They had one called, I want to say it was Tales of the Dark Knight. I think it was the name of the episode. Anyway, it's these 3 kids talking about what their version of Batman is. And each one is drawn in that style. So some kid talks about his version being the Batman and Robin of the 60s. So you get that television show animation style. And then somebody else gives them, oh, no, it's future Batman. And that gives you the Dark Knight stuff, which is the Dark Knight Returns. With like Batman being this beefy whatever and just this dystopia area, and he's battling the mutants and that sort of thing. Just all these different versions. And then there's one, oh God, where Barbara gets killed. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, anyway, I watched one that involved Mr. Freeze. And that's the one that I watched last night. I thought about playing some Arkham, but instead I went back and played God of War for a little bit. So, but yeah, to drum up some more interest for Darktide, they released the Final Class trailer today. That's definitely wait and see how the beta goes. Okay. That's what Josh was posting in the chat room there. Oh, hey, we're behind on...
I don't want to interrupt your ramblings.
It's ramblings. Please interrupt it. I will go on forever if you don't, although I appreciate the time for me to talk about Batman. But regardless, we have to take a break. We're overdue. So this is a game called Ghost Song. Have you heard of Ghost Song, Josh?
Not ringing a bell, no.
No, I think it's a more recent title that came. In fact, they all are, because I had to go through and making up for the releases that were in October since we were playing our scary music during that month. But Ghost Song, it's the title screen of the game. And we will be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from Gunfire. Gunfire Reborn. Not sure. But that's the music for you. What do we have news-wise? We talked about those reviews. Netflix is looking to do a Gears of War film and also an animated series. Sure, go for it. I'm always down for when, video games get turned into something. Mm-hmm. Whether it's good or bad, it, moves the needle a little bit. Yeah. So, we've got Last of Us coming out in January, I believe, on HBO Max. So, or HBO. I call it HBO Max, but yeah. What else? Electronic Arts has basically shut down Project Cars. They're done with that. Perfectly fine. Prince of Persia pre-orders. That's a lot of P's. The pre-orders got canceled, but Ubisoft has said that it is not dead. Apparently, a version of the remake was leaked. It showed up on the PlayStation Store, something like that, and people were able to grab it, but because it has to connect to play, they didn't really get much out of it. So I'm not sure what that was. I don't know what that situation was. There was something there for the Prince of Persia remake, but I don't know exactly what. 10 million people got Vermintide 2. We talked about that. Nintendo did. They called it an Indie World Showcase, and they just called it a World Showcase. So it's a lot of indie games that were announced for the Nintendo. Is it the Switch itself? Yeah, it is the Switch. Venba was announced. I don't know what that is. A narrative cooking game. Okay. Goodbye World. It's a game about games, specifically the pixelated narrative adventure about two friends looking for the perfect idea for their next game. Have a Nice Death was shown off. Aka, a low-key, small open-world game with a singular goal. Help the retired warrior Aka find inner peace on an isolated island paradise. Pepper Grinder is another one. It's a 2-day action-adventure game. Coffee Talk Episode 2, which is one of those narrative games. A lot of reading. Oni, Road to be the mightiest Oni. I don't know what that is, but it's about a demon warrior who, after getting his butt kicked by a Japanese folktale hero, joins forces with a spirit to become stronger than before. Okay. Desta, The Memories Between. It comes to... Oh, that comes from the creators of Monument Valley. So, yeah. A Space for the Unbound. A slice of life adventure set in the late 90s in rural Indonesia. Dordog, I don't even know how to pronounce this next one. Botany Manor. If you've ever wanted to be a master gardener, they've got you covered with Botany Manor, an exploration adventure puzzler. So, Once Upon a Gesture, Rogue Legacy 2, Blanc. It's a monochromatic adventure game about a wolf cub and a fawn. Oh, a little to the left is a cute and cozy puzzler about finding satisfying puzzles hidden among household objects. Sports Story is another one, so yeah, there's probably some more in that list, but those were announced for the Nintendo Switch. Really haven't put a lot of time in my Nintendo Switch. I guess because, Destiny, God of War, that sort of thing. Just haven't been doing a lot of it. What else do we have? Okay. Some interesting good things going on with composers. Doom Eternal, its composer, claims the soundtrack was a nightmare. And the Call of Duty composer has left, saying that the Modern Warfare 2 soundtrack is not my artistic intent. We heard a little bit of that soundtrack earlier in the show. Let's see if I can give you a reading on this. Sarah Schachner, I believe, is the name, issued a statement today saying she will no longer be creating any music for Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone. Her credits include Assassin's Creed, Unity, Black Flag, Origins, and Valhalla, Far Cry, Need for Speed, Infinite Warfare, or Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2, can no longer continue to compose music for Activision's shooter. Over the past couple of months, the working dynamic with the audio director has become increasingly challenging, and I don't see any path forward. As of now, I am unsure of the status and release plan for the soundtrack as it's been taken out of my hands. Those soundtrack plans have been the subject of fan curiosity ever since the game's release, since it's rare for a major blockbuster like this to come out and not have its official album accompany it. Her statement suggests that her challenging dynamic with the audio director, who is Stephen Miller, is at least partly down to this soundtrack release. As she adds, what will be released on the soundtrack is not my artistic intent in regards to mixing and mastering. So that's the reason. Apparently. Now the Doom thing, Doom Eternal, Mick Gordon says he never approved the release of Doom Eternal's soundtrack album. In a lengthy 14,000-word post, the composer for Doom Eternal, Mick Gordon, accused id Software's executive producer Marty Stratton of lying about the official soundtrack's shoddy release and throwing him under the bus as the cause for its poorly mixed tracks. A lot of mixing problems going on in the video game world there. According to Gordon, working on the soundtrack to Doom Eternal was a nightmare from start to finish, both when working on the game itself, including for an 11-month stretch without pay, and later when he claims id Software surprise announced that a soundtrack album would be included with the game's collector's edition without previously informing Mick of any plans for such a project. Gordon said he had to crunch for 18 to 20-hour days to meet their deadline for the official soundtrack. So that seems... he also claims that he never approved of the soundtrack's release, wasn't paid until he was 8 months through its production, wasn't informed that he'd be working on the soundtrack until Doom Eternal's Collector's Edition was advertised to the public, and says that Stratton offered him a six-figure sum to stay quiet about the matter. Apparently he turned that last one down.
Yeah.
You know, I just reading on news things like this, I'm reluctant to pick sides. Only after what we had happen with Bayonetta.
Yeah, I was going to say that kind of tainted the whole thing.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Man. That got worse, by the way. We never revisited that as far as after it was like, oh, this is all bad on her part. We never really revisited that, but the next week, I think she came out with more, whatever it was she said. Not she doubled down on her stance on it, even though she doesn't seem to have those receipts to be doing that. So yeah. Anyway, and then she was like, instead of boycotting the game, or no, she wanted them to boycott the game, but also like make your donations to charities. Here's some charities that I support. Some of them not the best intentions in some ways. So yeah, there was it didn't.
Charity's a little funny nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the fan base seems to be perfectly fine with her moving on.
Yeah.
After that whole, what I'll call a kerfuffle, because I don't get to use that word very much. So I thought I would say kerfuffle. Let's go to the phones.
Opportunity.
Yeah, I know. Let's go to the phones because I have no idea who this is. Hi, you're on in-game chat. Who's this?
Biloxi Gambler.
What's up, man?
Hey, is our friend there? He's from Germany, right?
Yes, he is, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a German birth certificate that I can't read.
Oh.
Yeah, try buying a pistol with that thing.
Exactly.
or getting a star on your driver's license. It's not going to happen. But yeah, the date was correct today. Yeah.
Yes, I got the date correct.
Yeah, you shouted me out. I went, oh, man.
I did, because when I was writing down the date on my little clapboard here, I was specific, like, remember, just say the 12th. I don't care if you get any other part of it wrong. Say it's November the 12th. Do not... You can say that it's.
You might have said December.
I know. Just
he said November.
Just make sure you get the date right, because he'll be listening for that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I played two different games this week.
Two different games. Okay.
Yeah, two different. I played baseball the show, right?
Oh yeah.
And my rookie year, I got 85 home runs, and not even doing steroids. It's great. Yeah. I was drinking a beer. I don't see it's a big deal. I got 87 this year so far. I got the RBI record of over 250 anyway. But no, the first game I played is, because I had to write it down. Okay, it's on PlayStation 4. It's like $4, and I really like the song. It's like a music video with a song. And I said, okay, that's worth $4. I'll play this stupid game. The name of it is, and I love the name, I'm in love with your dead grandmother.
Yeah,
hey, for $4,
actually...
how do you not? You know, it's like, I got to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really a game. It's more of an interactive movie where you get to choose a choice and it does something. And then they make you come back and do the second choice. And there's one place where there's 7 choices. They were just real proud of all the 7 different things they wanted you to see them all. And yeah, it didn't take very long at all. But the other one that I went out on the edge here was called What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, a nice little yeah, okay. I've played that one.
Hey, that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was different. It was cool. It was a great story. I liked the way they told it, and that one was enjoyable. So
my favorite part of that one is discovering. I think it was the comic book that has the Pumpkinhead guy or whatever it was.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I can't. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, I really enjoyed that part where they threw a little bit of a horror element in there. Not much compared to what you play for horror games, by the way. Speaking of, The Quarry is down to like $20 on PlayStation 4. I don't know if you've played that yet, but that's from your Supermassive guys.
Really? Okay, I might. Okay.
Is it still? Well,
it was
is it still $20 now?
It was at
It was at Walmart.
On Walmart, yeah, on Walmart's website, it was still $20.
Let me see.
I'm still waiting for The Devil Inside Me. I think November 18th was what RJ said.
Yeah, The Quarry for PlayStation 4 is $19.98 on Walmart.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I was going to download it through the PlayStation Store.
You don't like to get out, do you?
Oh yeah, I don't mind getting out. It's just I usually like to download something new on Saturday night after I listen to you talk. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that God of War thing, is that online only, or is that...
No. It's a completely story-based thing. It's offline. The first game, I think, is down to... It's one of the greatest hits type things. It's probably...
Well, no, they're pushing that new one.
Well, they are, but I would suggest playing the 2018 version before you play the new one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, that's why I don't do anything till I listen to the whole show.
Yeah,
well,
I
won't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I would suggest playing that one because if you don't like that one, then you're not out a full $60 for the game of the sequel. In other words, so if you play the first one and you're like, I don't really like this is not my style of game, then you're only out for like $20, I think is what it costs.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll download that tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, that sounds great, guys. I appreciate it. I'll be talking to you probably next week. Right?
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
hey,
yep, that's an actual title.
Yeah.
I'm in love with your...
Oh, no, I looked it up. Yeah, I did. I looked it up.
Yeah.
Weird, but yeah.
Yeah, by the way, God of War, $20 on PlayStation Store, and it's included with PlayStation Plus Extra.
It is, if you have a PlayStation Plus thing. Especially if you're on PS5, you can get it there as well. But neither here nor there. Josh, thanks for joining us, okay? I appreciate it, man. You there? Maybe he went silent. Yep. Anyway, regardless,
always here.
There you go. We got to run, man. I appreciate it. Bye. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
We'll figure Discord out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for everybody for calling in. Chris, Biloxi Gambler, Steve, Josh, really appreciate you guys chatting in there. We've got to go. Music here from Marvel Snap. It's the menu music. We'll see you next Saturday.